So hello and welcome to Maypole. Just a quick video on how things are going so far. Your starting equipment is right there, so no need to worry about that. Nuggets are on the map as you'd have seen in the previous video, but in the previous video it was do I get rid of them, and talking about the idea of doing what Farmer Dad had come up with, and that was making it so the nuggets would be what gives you the money to start your career off in the map. And so that's what has been done. So you will have all of your gold nuggets that will lead you around to there, and you will collect your 1 million in cash. I won't say a value. This is where your eggs will spawn in both sides, in little pockets of them. But so those of you who will be playing this map with seasons, my strongest recommendation is to start the game without seasons active first, and then to save it and then exit the game, and when loading your save game up, activate seasons. Then it will and the reason for that is because in the distance you won't get, if you don't do it, the fields in the distance will not be as they should be. They will all look like that, which is very bland. Although I don't know why some fields do work and others don't. As you can see, one over in the back there, and there's another one over in the far corner by the looks of it that does seem to be working. But you get the odd one that will, and then all the others don't. I don't know why. Apparently there's potatoes grown in this field. Missions are obviously active. New silage bunker, because we was having problems with the other one in testing. So the silage bunker is bigger, and the silo king is now over there, and the digestate is here. Other than that, everything's been running well. The sheds that we originally had, the round sheds that was here, was removed because there was a texture issue and it was bugging me. BP pointed out about the slurry instead of having it over there and to have it as an open pit, so found this one in a buildings pack. Can't remember I think it's Frontier Design. Maybe someone else. I can't remember the names. Names just don't stay. So that was moved, brought in, and this is just left open for those who want to use it for parking a piece of equipment, or if they want to buy add-ons to the silo, they can dump one there. Obviously a gate put here so you can get around to your storage sheds for your bales, unless you come that way, and which is just 2 ways in and out of that field, to be honest. Obviously this is your immediate storage area for bales, but I guess once this one is empty, you'd start using your reserves that'd be in the other sheds at that point. And this one would be a combination of hay and straw bales. Nothing really changed within the farm layout. It's still very much the same. Just some hedges have been removed and barbed wire put in their place to just to open it up a little bit, give you something to look at as you drive through. Otherwise you're just driving constantly between hedges, and Obviously this is where the golden nuggets originally was. They've all been removed. Your repairs bay is here, so you can come in here, configure or repair your vehicles, and that's basically it. From the PDA you can see that all the icons are now in place as where they should be. 64 fields on the map, and this outer perimeter was going to stay like this originally because the story behind it was I was going to have a border, a wooden border that went around the map, but these fields would show through, so decided to, thanks to BP and David, to delete the piece that I didn't need from around here and have it so it would not show anything, and where the area they did show would be effectively the play area. All the fields and everything here would be outside of the play area, so you'd know which is the play area, which isn't, because driving down one of these roads you could so easily, if you're not paying attention to the PDA, think that the map continues and suddenly find yourself hitting a wall and wondering what the hell's happened. But in later updates this will be back to its normal PDA image, so you will get a green background here, so it'd look more like the center of the map is. But until I finish doing everything else I've got left to do, I don't want to do the PDA. This was just thrown together quickly just to give us a PDA that we could work with, so we knew where A and B was, you know, sell points, farm, sheep farm, etc. And we will not be using the we will take forget it, we'll just go with this. It's fine. Lease, yes. And jump into it. So the map is now fully seasons ready. The new version's got to be tested for the snow mask to make sure, but I've updated it, and so then it should function better. You just had these little patches of snow that didn't make sense. The good thing about this map is it's kept me out of the editor, although I say good thing, it's actually a bad thing as well, but funny enough. But it's kept me out of the editor for the best part, because theoretically it took me 3 weeks, 2.5 to 3 weeks to get into the position where it was on the server being under testing, because the play area was theoretically finished. All that was left was the outside of the play area. And now you consider that this is, you know, say 3 weeks worth of work within the center of the map. Theoretically we're in probably 6th, 7th week in after I started the map. Theoretically I should have had the map finished after an additional week, theoretically, but no. Instead I go into the editor, and to be honest I can't wait to leave, because I just want to play something else. I just want to do something else. And part of it is I want to play the map. The other part is, we'll go this way, is it's I'm at that point now where it's repetitive. Everything that I'm doing is just adding new fields. So it's adding putting a hedge in place, duplicating the hedge, moving it over, putting that one in place, and so on and so forth, and then making a surrounding an area that I would say this is where a field's going to be, putting the field texture in, putting the crop on there, and then moving on to the next field, and so on and so forth. And that's all it is right now, and that's all it will be until the last of the outer areas is done, with an occasional house placed here and there along the roadside. But as you can see in the distance there, that's how it should kind of look. So it gives you that, like, the map just goes on, and believe me, this road would literally go on. In fact, we'll go down and you'll see. And if we close the PDA so you can't see, you don't know when it's going to happen. I know when it will happen, but you don't. And I know 10 miles an hour it's going to seem like it'll take forever, but as you can see, there's a house just further on up, and 2 fields here. Yeah, the field is back there. I need to finish off. Oh, never mind, you will be able to see because clearly. But imagine that was all finished over there. You would be continuing to come around to here, and just about now, see, can't go any further. You'd be trying to go, and you wouldn't even be aware that that would be it, because there's a gate right there, and you'd be thinking that you could get into this field to mow it. That'd be a free field, but no. You can get into this field. That's why there's a buy icon there, so you can absolutely open the gates and go in here. That's why the gate's here, so you don't, if you come all the way down here, you haven't got to drive all the way or reverse all the way back up, because you can't drive through these hedges. Okay, but and as you can see, can't go backwards any further, can't go forwards any further. But the it's been a much needed change. Newbie Farm has always been the map that I've worked on. You know, it's I could spend hours just looking at the map and picking faults with it. I wanted a map that I couldn't pick faults with it, because the way it is the way it is. And okay, certain things I could say, well, I don't like that there, and I could change it, but I mean, in terms of terrain layout, roads and things like that, how it is how it is. That is not going to change. Whereas Newbie Farm, you've seen it over the years, roads have changed, and some areas the map itself got wider, the whole area got used, you know, the freight yard got pushed right out, and what was the big field now is 4 big fields got edited, and the road was made further over towards the freight yard, which had been pulled over towards the edge of the map, thus making that what was a big field into an even bigger field. But you know, I keep saying there has to be a time when I turn around and say newbie farm is done. I can't keep working on newbie farm. There's got to be a point when I say I'm done with newbie farm. Otherwise I will end up breaking it. It won't work how I wanted it to, and it'll all be down to my own stupidity of being selfish and not saying that's it. And I'm hoping in FS19 I will be able to say it is done, and doesn't mean I won't port it over into FS21. What it does mean is it would just be, all that would change is the changes between each farm sim game itself, as opposed to actual changes within the map, as we have seen over the last, well, 8 years. So this is another road that you could carry on and think that you will not hit, that it goes further, and we're not going to test that one out, don't worry. We're going to be turning off just after this sign at the bottom here, and not long after that sign you would hit the, would you, no, actually I think you could go out further and you could buy the field next to it. Yeah, you can buy the field next to it. But I know this map definitely feels very flat, but we're finding out how hilly this map really is. It's surprisingly not flat, but compared to Newbie Farm, it's definitely flat. Newbie Farm makes this look very flat because there's so many terrain changes within Newbie Farm itself. But some of these fields make Newbie Farm look like a pussycat. Just saying. Although up by the bakery, I think that's the worst fields. They're not the nicest fields, perhaps, in many regards, but the worst fields in other, if you're doing ground bales. And like we mowed this and the bales was just rolling off down the hill. And imagine working those fields, bearing in mind that there are also fields in the corner there. That grass field is a field that you can own. So yeah, the fields, some of the fields are definitely interesting. Not sure if if I would want to be doing bales on them now, but it definitely make you more strategic on what fields you could do bales on and what fields you would do, say, chaff on, because you'd probably want to do the chaffing on more of the sloped hills, because then it's, although it's heavy work, it's you haven't got to try and catch the bales or worry about the bales sliding down the hill. Just trying to think. See, I don't want to put a time frame on how long I'm going to say that this will take before the map's done, because if I do that, then we'll get to the point where it's, well, you said that in a couple of weeks you'll have the map ready and the map isn't out yet. Why is that? And it's so hard to say, because although to me I can physically see that I'm getting closer and closer each day towards the map being finished, I can also zoom out and go, damn, there's still that much to do. And then think there's, I'm not, it's going to take a lot longer to do it. So I'm not going to put any kind of time frame on how long it will be before the map's out. All I'm going to say is I'm hoping that I will have it out soon, sooner rather than later. And if I could have it out next week, I would be delighted. I know it won't be out by next week, and even if I did have it finished by next week, it definitely wouldn't be available to download by next week, because it's obviously got to go through its testing on various sites, and that can take a week on its own, up to a week on its own. So yeah, to make it, because I originally wasn't going to have pigs in this map. Pigs was going to be a no-no, but because a map that I've been keeping an eye on, a problem being reported with it, with a particular mod, and the map, the reason that the mod had an issue was because there was an animal breed, a type that wasn't available on the map. So the mod didn't play friendly. So pigs was added, but you can't do anything with. So pigs are out of bounds. They're in the map, but not playable, not in the playable area. So the mod will function because it will recognize all the animal zones are there, and it'll be fine. Unfortunately, it's one of those things. I personally, is it my fault that mod doesn't work with my map? No, it's not. I shouldn't have to build my maps for the mods, but I don't want people going, well, how come your map broke my game? And it's like, no, your mod broke the map. But it's one of those things, and it's not like it's your mod. It's one of the mods that you're using doesn't work with the map. Like chop straw isn't built into the map. I'm not, for me, chop straw gives FPS issues, and I just can't warrant adding more stress on to a map that already has a lot of detail, with all of those extra fields out there with the foliage on them, and that that you don't realize it, but although it doesn't appear to give you a big hit, it does still give you a hit. And I would love to know why some of these fields show up as being, and then others don't. Because having the background textures like that on all of your fields definitely makes a huge difference, as David pointed out. Because when we first started testing it, all the fields in the distance was like them, all brown, and there was no textures to them. And then we had to update a couple of files because I'd made some changes, and one of them was the fruit density GDM, which immediately put and I'd started it in single player without the seasons mod active, and it put all of the distant fields with textures in. And when we loaded the game up on the server with the new save files, David immediately noticed the difference and said, I can see why why you wanted it like that now. It definitely makes a difference. And unfortunately, I'm confused as to why some show up and some don't. And it's not that it's the wheat fields. Some of them are different growth stages. I think some of them ones might be younger growth stages, so that seasons might see them as a winter crop. It's a possibility, isn't it? Anyway, whatever. We will, I think, give it an end in here. As you can see, forestry trees in the distance. You can see them, but you can't cut them down. So that's what you call taking the piss, right? But they will be changed because forestry trees don't change, the leaves colours don't change during the different times of the year. I might just add them as basically a 2D image. So from here and anywhere along the side of the map, you'd see it as looks like a tree, but if you was right up close to it, you'd see that it wasn't a tree. You couldn't cut it down or anything. And I might do that with them just to get rid of the difference in them, and because I don't want the game to go can't plant more trees because you've reached the limit, although there's nowhere near 13,000 trees on this map. I don't think so anyway, could be wrong. But anyway, I'm going to end it there, but before I do, I want to give a big thank you to, or shout out to, BP, Farmer Dad, Travis, Moondog, Stu, and Armour Suit, Peter. Just trying to think of other people who have been helping test. I think that's all of them for helping. If you, I'm getting tired. So if you was one of them who helped test, sorry for not calling you out, but I'm sure that's all. That's everybody. Unfortunately, some members of the Monkey Show are busy with their real world stuff, so they wasn't able to help test. But for those who did, thank you very much. It's been very appreciated and entertaining on some occasions. You know, and obviously thank you for your input on certain things like fencing, road signs that I obviously have no idea about. Well, not obvious to you guys, obvious to the Monkey Show though, or it is now anyway. And if a particular member of the Monkey Show gets hold of the map, that person has stated that there will be a lot of signs on the map. Now, for the hell of it, I am contemplating on giving that person the map, because I know that person would do a good job. But the map isn't ready for that stage yet. That's basically the final stage that would be added. So, that being said, this has been a quick update. Hope you enjoyed it. I am now going to end it and go to sleep, because that's what I said 1 hour ago, or thereabout, like actually about 45 minutes ago, is I'm going to bed, because I've got a busy day tomorrow and I'm still awake doing a video. When will I learn? So, until next time, take care of each other, and remember, hit the subscribe button on all of the people that are in my YouTube homepage. They're all part of the Monkey Show. They're all good YouTubers. And until next time, see ya.